Yo, Bonnet Sue is back in the building. Okay, so in the last video, I did a whole tier ranking about the top 10 carb sources, the top ranked carb sources. This video is going to be pretty similar, except this time it's going to be about protein sources. So I'm about to just tell y'all the best protein sources, the worst protein sources, and give my rationale. We're gonna start off with the F tier. Okay, the number one worst protein source that you can get, F tier, is this plant-based, like this. It's like these fake meats, okay? These plant-based proteins or whatever. Not plant-based, but really like the fake meats, because these are nothing more than just processed food. You're literally eating food that's full of hundreds, literally thousands of soon-to-be banned ingredients now that RFK is in office. And yeah, essentially, it's just fake meat. It's like you've never seen someone make a fake plant out of meat or something, because people don't do that. It's just, but for some reason we try to make a fake meat. It's stupid. Okay, either don't eat meat at all and be vegan and commit to that, or freaking eat meat and be a real man. Don't let these fools out here take your testosterone down by saying, oh, meat is bad, meat is unethical. Like, bro, you understand, people have been eating meat since the dawn of time. As long as you kill your meat ethically, I'm not talking about beating your meat, I'm talking about killing your meat ethically, you'll be fine, and you're not going to be doing harm to no one. In fact, you'll be doing good for the animal, because at least you will ensure that the animal's life went to a good cause, and making your life continue on, and so that you can be healthy and vibrant. So yeah, just don't eat fucking plant-based meat. That shit is ass. Alright, what's next? Oh, right. F tier. I want to put this in the F tier, but I'm going to put it in the D tier. This is going to be plant-based proteins. This is stuff like beans, chickpeas, lentils, nuts, seeds, plants. People that say, oh, you can get all your protein from plants. Okay, newsflash. So let me just go over this real quick at the beginning of the video. There's this thing called bioavailability. Bioavailability is how much of the food that you eat actually gets absorbed and utilized by the body. So stuff like beef, eggs, even dairy, stuff like chicken, it has high bioavailability, meaning that when you eat those foods, you'll be absorbing like 90% to 100% of the protein, of the nutrients in those foods. Now, the issue with stuff like plant proteins, with these plant-based meats and whatnot, they have super low bioavailability. So even if you are eating, like, let's say 100 grams of protein from beans or chickpeas or lentils, only like 40%, 30% of that is actually going to get absorbed. And on top of that, there's also this thing called amino acids. The thing that makes proteins so essential is because they have amino acids. We can't produce amino acids on our own. So we need to get amino acids from the meat that we eat. The issue is when you eat plant proteins, you don't get all the amino acids. And amino acids are what's actually responsible for making sure the protein is properly utilized and absorbed and actually, makes your muscles grow and helps build and repair tissues. So if you're eating stuff like plant-based meat and, Beyond Meat, and you're eating freaking beans and chickpeas and plants all day and saying, oh, but plants have protein. Look, they have protein, but it's not actually doing anything for you. So yeah, I'm not saying to avoid, because obviously plants, beans, lentils, even nuts and seeds, they do have a lot of good stuff for you. They have a lot of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. Just don't use it as a protein source and think that you're going to get enough protein, because you're not. Honestly, low-key, I should put it in F, but I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be nice to all vegans today, and I'm going to put it in the D tier. All right. Next, tofu and soy, edamame and stuff like that. Yeah, that's going in the D tier, because it's the same thing as the plants. Although I will say I was actually raised eating stuff like tofu, tempeh, like that stuff is pretty freaking good. But it's full of estrogen, which is going to lower your testosterone, because estrogen and testosterone are pretty inverse. So it'll raise your estrogen, which is not that good. It's going to feminize you. It's going to make you a femboy, a lady boy, a pretty boy. And on top of that, it's the same, just low bioavailability, so not much of the protein is actually going to get utilized. But I will say, if you know how to cook tofu correctly, it's so freaking good. It's so good. So, gosh, I'm not going to lie. I like tofu. I don't eat it these days because it has estrogen. I know about low bioavailability, but it is good. It is good. Number 10, C tier. I'm gonna put dairy in the C tier. And don't get me wrong, kind of like with the other foods on this list, it has a lot of vitamins, it has a lot of minerals, it has a lot of nutrients, it has a good amount of fat. The only issue with dairy is it just doesn't have a lot of protein. Although the protein will get absorbed, it's like you'd have to drink a whole gallon of milk just to get like 60, 80 grams of protein. It's not good. It's not a good trade-off. On top of that, milk is also going to make you gain weight. It's going to inflame your body in a lot of cases. It might even fuck with like your skin health and give you acne if you're not consuming raw dairy. So make sure that you're eating raw dairy if you are going to eat dairy. And on top of that, just like, moderate your dairy intake, because it is a heavy food. It will make you gain weight. Like, in my opinion, every time I drink dairy or something, I gain weight. It's just simple as that. So I tend to avoid it because I just don't see the point in like gaining all that weight and also not getting much protein for it. It's not worth it. But there's some people like Scandinavians, people in Northern Europe, people like in Central Africa and whatnot that live off of a lot of dairy, and it's good for them. So just, check your genes, check how you react to it, make sure that you're not drinking dairy and just feeling like, feeling like shit. That's no bueno. No bueno. No bueno. All right. Next is going to be deli and processed meats. Yeah, this is also going to go in the D tier. I should have done this one before, but yeah, this is the D tier. This one is ass. Like, processed and deli meats, for one, there's very little protein in that because they're so sliced so thin. And on two, it just has cancer causing, it has carcinogens, it lowers cholesterol, it's not that good for you, it just doesn't have much protein, and it's a processed food at the end of the day. So to all the people that are out there eating their charcuterie boards and getting their pastrami and salami and pepperoni, you're not getting any protein from that. On top of that, you're also low-key, high-key killing yourself by eating that food because it just, like I said, it has cancer-causing substances, it lowers cholesterol, and you need cholesterol to live. Cholesterol is super essential. When I make my videos about ranking fats, I'll talk a little bit about cholesterol. But yeah, you're just not getting that much bang for your buck from eating processed deli meats. You're not getting a lot of protein, and you're also getting disease. So avoid at all costs. Also, it's just like, that shit is ass. It's just not good. Like, why would you get a processed deli meat when you can just get a freaking pound of ground beef, or get a freaking pound of chicken breast, or get a pound of fish? Like, don't subjugate yourself to lesser proteins. That's stupid. All right, next is gonna be pork. Pork it a pork, pork it a pork, pork it a pork. So pork it a pig is gonna go in the C tier. And honestly, I'm being pretty nice. I should put pork it a pig in the D or the F tier, because look, while pork, it does have, it has protein, I'll admit, it's just where the pork is coming from, that's my issue with it. Pork, pigs are generally pretty dirty animals. On top of that, in the Bible, it says not to eat, animals that have like the split shut, or that eat shut, or have like the split hoof. Like, you shouldn't be eating pork, essentially, in the Bible. So that's a couple reasons right there. On top of that, there is a theory out there that pork actually is humans. Like, pigs are former humans that were cursed to become pigs because, they're gluttony and whatnot. And I tend to believe that because I'm a strong believer that we live in Minecraft. Like, if you've ever seen Minecraft, they have zombie pigmen. You think that the dude that made Minecraft, Notch, just came up with zombie pigmen? No, he knows something. He knows something. Okay, so just know, when you're eating pork, you're not only sinning, you're not only eating a food that, an animal that was dirty and has the split hoof, that's unholy, that's a sin to eat in the Bible. You're also eating humans. Keep that in mind. So stay away. I'm being nice and put it in the C tier, but really it should be in the D or the F tier because it's unholy. So stay away from that. Like, I don't touch pork. Okay? I don't do that. Next, non-organic meat. So this is just going to be stuff like beef and chicken and turkey, but it's just not organic. It's not grass-fed. It's not, it's like chickens that are straight from the coop. It's just not, it's not ethically sourced meat. And look, it will give you protein. I'll admit that. Like, it's not like you're not going to be getting protein, but you're just eating animals that were killed in unsanitary conditions, animals that were killed by the thousands. They were stuffed into these tight corridors, these tight living spaces. They were fed like grain and slop, pumped full of hormones, and they went to an untimely demise, and it wasn't ethical. They were like thrown in a pounder and pounded to death or something. It's not good. So I stay away from that. I put them in the C tier because I just think that when you eat food that was killed in like that stressed, unholy way, you are absorbing that energy of being unholy, of being stressed. It's like McDonald's meat. It's like fast food meat, essentially. Just stay away from that shit. Sure, you might be getting protein, but it's just not coming from a good source, so you want to stay away from that because in the long run, you will pay for that. So stay away. All right, moving on to the B tier. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna put shellfish and crustaceans. This is stuff like oysters, shrimp, lobsters. So I will. The reason why I put it in the B tier is because it does have actually like pretty solid nutrient profiles. They're high in protein. Stuff like oysters is like known to raise your testosterone. It has like just a lot of stuff like zinc, I want to say calcium. I'm not too sure on that, but I know it has like zinc. Some of them even have phosphorus and stuff. But the issue is, it's the same. It's just they're dirty animals. You know, they're like the cockroaches of the sea, like crabs and lobsters and crustaceans. Like they're the cockroach of the sea, and that's actually what peasants used to eat back in the day. Before, I don't know how it happened, but for some reason, crustaceans and lobsters and oysters were all of a sudden seen as like this highly aristocratic food, even though that's what like poor people tended to eat. And yeah, same thing too. Also, it's just an unholy food. It's a sin to eat in the Bible, so I tend to just I'm a holy man, like I said. You know, kosher, halal, all that. I stay away from all the unholy foods. So the pork, the shellfish, you're not gonna catch me eating that. So yeah, stay away from that. But it does have good nutrients. It does have good protein. It's just not worth it, in my opinion, to to essentially dirty yourself. You know, to make yourself dirty from the food you eat. Don't do that. So I tend to stay away from that. And because that gets the B tier, although low-key it should be in the C tier because it's unholy. But I'm being nice and I'll put it in the B tier. All right, now we move on to the really good food. So in a B tier, I'm going to put turkey. So honestly, turkey low-key could be A tier, but I put turkey in the B tier just because of taste. Like it's don't get me wrong. When you have it on Thanksgiving, when you know, like rotisserie in it, it's really good. But for the most part, you're not going to be making turkey unless it's Thanksgiving if you live in America, because you know it's a long ass process. On top of that too, when you get like ground turkey, it's just kind of bland. It's just, you know, you really got to spice it up to make it taste good, and it can be a little dry. So that's why I put it in the B tier. But it is healthy though. It has a good amount of protein. It has all your amino acids that you need. You know, it's solid. It's solid, but it's not A or S tier material. It's just B tier. You know, it's solid. It's solid. Unproblematic. Can't get too mad at it. Now, if there was a way to get, you know, smaller turkeys so that you could enjoy turkey year round, I'm sure, bro, I would be eating turkeys all the time because turkey tastes great. It's just, you know, for the most part, you're not usually going to find that rotisserie style, Thanksgiving style. All right, chicken, I want to put it in A tier. Yeah, it deserves A tier. I'll give it the A tier nod. So chicken that's like organic, it's like free range, grass fed, whatever, all that, you know, not fed soy products and grain products. Chicken is also very good. So I put chicken in the A tier because it's the same as turkey. It can be a little dry, but it just has more versatility. You can get like chicken thighs, chicken breast. You can get ground chicken. You can get the rotisserie chicken. You can even fry it as long as you fry it in good oils, not fucking seed oils. But yeah, chicken is overall very solid. Very solid. So it gets the A tier nod from your boy. Yeah. I can't really hate on chicken that much. It'll give you all the protein you need. It's just a little like, it's just kind of average. It doesn't have much fat, so it's not going to be as tasty as the foods that we're about to get into. But yeah, it's very solid. It will give you all the protein you need. You can cook it in a whole bunch of ways. Very unproblematic, very demure, all that jazz. All right, wild caught fish. I want to give it S tier nod, but I'll put it A tier just strictly because if it was for like overall health of the food, then yeah, it would be S tier. But if it's just for protein, then it's just A tier. Because don't get me wrong, fish does have a good amount of protein. It actually has a lot of protein. It's not a crazy amount. But I just put it in the A tier because it's very good. It's very good. I low-key want to put it in S tier, but no, I'm not. But yeah, wild-caught fish, super good, super ethical. You can cook it in a lot of ways. You can get a lot of different wild-caught fish. There's, you know, cod, there's sardines, there's salmon, there's sea bass. You can cook it in several ways. You can put it on the pan. You can roast it in the oven. You can even eat it raw, although, you know, do that at your own risk. But it's super good. It has DHA fat, which literally makes your brain grow, gives you protein, and it tastes really amazing. So honestly, highly underrated. Want to give it the S tier nod, but it's just like, it's not S tier material though. All right, S tier. Starting off, we got eggs. Okay, so eggs are literally amazing. They have literally every single vitamin and nutrient that you need in the book. You could probably live off of eggs. Pretty high in protein too. Like one egg is 70 calories, 6 grams of protein. Also raises your cholesterol, you know, gives you those healthy fats which you need in order to just survive longer, live longer. Don't listen to the sop. We need cholesterol. Cholesterol is actually very healthy for us. But yeah, it's overall just very good. I would say the only issue with eggs is just once you eat like 4 plus, you know, once you get it to like that 6 range, 4 to 6, once you go more than that, you start tasting a little like you're like, I don't really want to eat this. Like you just have that realization like, I'm eating eggs. And yeah, on top of that, they're just really dense because they have so many nutrients. So you can't really eat that many without getting sick. So you can really only cap it at eating like 4 to 6 a day at the maximum. Like sometimes even that's a lot. Like sometimes I'll just have 2 or something. But yeah, that's the only issue with eggs is that it's just, you know, you kind of have to cap it. But it does have all the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients you need. It has protein as well. It has fat. So overall, one of literally the best foods you can eat. But yeah. Next, grass-fed beef. Okay, grass-fed beef is just so awesome. I could eat beef all day. Is that a pause? Yeah, I'm gonna pause myself. But yeah, I love beef. And yeah, ground beef, steaks and whatnot, they just taste freaking amazing. Same thing as eggs, just super dense nutrient profile, whole lot of protein, whole lot of fat. It's gonna keep you full, it's gonna keep you satiated, it's gonna keep you young, it's gonna keep you energetic, it's gonna help you live longer, and it's gonna give you the protein you need, it's gonna keep you strong, it's gonna help build muscle. It's just literally the best protein that you can get. It's the best protein you can get, plain and simple. And it's not number one though, because number one is going to be wild game. And the reason I put wild game in the S tier is because it's the same as a grass-fed beef. You know, it's got, you know, super great nutrient profile, a lot of protein, a lot of fat, just super healthy. But the thing is, I think it's better than beef just because, you know, you're eating a wild animal. You know that it was killed ethically. You know that it lived like a very vibrant and just energetic life. You know, it was wild. It was roaming the wilderness. It was, you know, finding plants on the ground and eating it, just exploring. So I'm a strong believer that you absorb the energy of the food that you eat, because, you know, why wouldn't you? So I believe that when you eat something such as wild game, you're absorbing like that wild energy, you're absorbing like that nature to just explore and roam around and you know, really just explore the world. And on top of that, it low-key has better macros than beef and stuff like that, just because it actually has a bit of a lower fat content with a way higher protein content. So you'll actually be getting more protein. So because of that, it just gets like the number one tier nod. But yeah, that's really all for the video. That's the protein rankings. So we'll go through it again real quick. F tier, fucking these fake ass plant-based Beyond Meat proteins. That shit is ass. D tier, plant-based proteins, tofu as well as deli meat. Just, you know, while plant-based proteins and tofu does have, you know, they do have protein. They're just not going to get very absorbed. And then deli meat is just terrible. It's like pretty much cancer. Low-key, I'm going to put that in the F tier because that shit is ass. C tier, we got dairy, pork, and just non-organic meat. You know, that stuff is like, it's all right. It's just all right. It's not great. It's all right. B tier, we got shellfish and turkey. Just overall solid, but, you know, shellfish and whatnot. Low-key would be A or S tier, but it's just not holy, so it gets the B tier. Turkey, just a little bland, a little dry, and only good on Thanksgiving for the most part, so B tier. A tier, chicken and wild caught fish, just overall solid. Can't complain, not gonna rag on them at all. That's an A ranking right there. That's solid. But S tier, eggs, grass-fed beef, and wild game, just that's the cream of the crop right there. That's the creme de la creme, the creme brulee, souffle. You know what I'm saying? People used to call me souffle back in literally since my entire life. But yeah. With all that being said, don't forget, if you want a top 1% physique, if you want me to create a diet and training program for you, click that top link in the description below. Check out the last video I made about the top 10 carb sources, top 10 healthiest carb sources ranked. And stay up, stay blessed. Love you. Dooski.